Hi everyone, welcome to my top 10 Blu-rays for the year 2021. For the Why So Blue readers, I apologize for it being just a video this year, but time has literally not been on my side for this, and I really wanted to publish something as I do a lot of reviews, as you can see throughout the year. So normally every year I do a top 10 Blu-ray and top 10 4K Ultra HDs of the year. So I'm splitting up videos. So there's another video, which if you're on Why So Blue, just scroll down. It's probably going to be there for my 4K top 10. But this video is for the standard Blu-ray top 10 for 2021. Always tough. Always so many titles and weeding them down. And then, no, maybe this one, maybe that one. It's a process. But once you got it down, you stick to it. Boom. Of course, I can't humanly watch and go through every title. There's still a lot I haven't checked out. Aaron Newirth, he had number 1, the Wong Kar-wai set. Well, I don't have that one yet. I do want it. I put it on my Christmas list, so maybe I get to check it out then. There's some I just haven't got to. I know it's before the 28th. We still have one more new release week, something coming out, but I have the French Dispatch, and I can tell you, just wait for the Criterion edition of that one, folks. And I don't think Antlers was going to make anyone's top, what have you. But for Blu-ray, it's a little bit different criteria here. Every year I'll go through what I do. So it's got to be something that, has good transfer, great bonus features. Packaging's big too sometimes. Something that just blows me away. Unfortunately, I disqualify like reissues. I don't include those in mine. So as much as I was thrilled to get my hands on this Doctor Who 50th anniversary reissue or steelbook, it is a reissue. This was released before, just a steelbook packaging version of it. So not making my list. So sorry about that. So like a lot of steelbook releases don't cut it because those are just the same disc again. More lenient on the 4K side of things, but with standard Blu-ray, you gotta put in, you gotta wow, there's gotta be something. So hopefully you're here. Maybe I'll put a cheat sheet for you Why So Bluers just with the top 10 in text below the video so you can quickly see what it is. But I appreciate you coming here for the context of my 10 picks. Now, like I said, this is top 10 standard Blu-ray for 2021. You can check out my other video, which is top 10 4K Ultra HDs for 2021, where I'll probably have repeated a lot of that jargon. So let's get into it. To the guy who hates looking at my face, you're gonna love this video. I'll start with number 10, and this is a late to the party one. It just got in here, but I was actually really impressed with Kino Lorber's release of Alfred Hitchcock's number 17. This is one of his earliest films. It's a little mystery that just builds and builds. It's a couple guys stumble upon a dead body in an abandoned house with a note on it, and there's all these clues, and people start building up. It's a really great 4K restoration of this film. It's from 1932, and it's really fun. It's pretty comedic. I really like they have, in addition to some commentary by film critics and stuff, there's a early years documentary on here and some of his Truffaut interview as well. And there's also an introduction by Noel Simsola, and it's got some trailers for it as well as other Hitchcock trailers. But this is a really cool, complete old Hitchcock title release, which Kino has been putting out some of these that used to be found on those like bargain Hitchcock sets where it had a lot of his silence and like Lady Vanishes and all those in crappier quality. But they put out this number 17. There'll be another Hitchcock coming from Warner Archive next month that's never been on Blu-ray before, Stage Fright, which I've been wanting. But this is a cool release. It's a good price and definitely worth your time. And it's a must-have. It's Hitchcock. So this is number 10. Number 10 is number 17. How fun is that? Next up, from Synapse Films, my number 9 is Running Time, starring Bruce Campbell, and it's a film from 1997. This one showed up, I don't know why I'm doing unpackaging, I've already done these. This one showed up at my door. I didn't request it, And I got curious one day. I was working from home or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll pop this in." Crazy cool movie, this one. It's a all-in-one shot type movie, but there are parts where they cut. But it's a really cool. All happens in a few hours, real time chase. It's in black and white. Really impressive what they pulled off on like no budget. Um, it's got some interviews on here. It's got this old like Q&A they did in a college lecture hall for the film, and like it's like 90s Bruce Campbell. It does have a 2K scan of the original negative restoration. Looks great, sounds great. There's commentary. It is really cool, and I just think this movie, people should check it out. There's a couple things in there that are a little bit haven't aged well, but also I will argue Bruce Campbell's not a good guy in this. They're bad guys, so bad guys can speak and say crappy things. I don't get them bothered by that because they're bad. So they don't need to be all sensitive and stuff like that. They're bad guys. But fascinating movie. Shows you what is possible as a filmmaker under little no budget and a lot of drive. So check out Running Time, not just from the movie. It's a good release too. And up next, I've got the first of 3 in a row from this company. It's the Scream Factory, Shout Factory release of He Knows You're Alone. This is one I'd been demanding for years and years on Blu-ray. It's Tom Hanks' first movie. It's a slasher movie. It has to do with wedding shower or night before the wedding, whatever type of, that's the holiday you want to pin on it. It's interesting to see what this movie like rips off from Halloween, what they think is important. And also I love about it is the opening from Scream 2 was ripped from this movie. It's got a new 2K scan that looks wonderful. There's great interviews on here, and just a full feeling of this film. Fun factoid, Tom Hanks was actually going to do an interview for this, but he, in the time they had to put out the release or get everything together, he ended up getting called up for to speak at the inauguration for Joe Biden. So that's why he couldn't do this in the time they needed to get this out. So it's still a great release. I'm so happy to own it on Blu-ray finally. He Knows You're Alone is my number 7. Scream Factory also has my number... wait, we have 10, 9, 8. That was 8. Number 8 is He Knows You're Alone. Number 7, Survivor's Haunted Hills. Start putting things in this case. This is a little treat I wasn't expecting. It's a very nice riff on the AIP Hammer Horror era. It's like a Corman Poe parody with Elvira, and it's funny as hell. If you're into those things, it's got a great transfer on it, and it's got loads of bonus features. It's got a new intro from Elvira, a 4K restoration of the camera negative. There's someone put out a special edition of this long ago, and that stuff's all here. There's archival stuff. There's tons of stuff in this movie that existed. I'd never seen it till here, as much as I like Elvira and stuff. But it's really cool, and I highly recommend you check it out. This is Elvira's Haunted Hills. That's my number 7. Definitely a dark horse-ish pickup, especially if you're a classic horror fan. All right, next we have, again from Scream Factory, Alone in the Dark. This is another title I was hoping for so long. This one delivered. It had a 2K scan from Inner Positive. Looked wonderful. I mean, it looked better than that. Like, I really like the color and the depth on it stood out in this transfer. Definitely good stuff. This is a fun movie that I noticed like people know about, and then a lot of people don't know about. Check out, and everybody ends up really digging it in the end. You can see Jack Palance being a creeper. Landau is really creepy in this, but it's kind of humorous at times too. Jack Shoulder, who is like a New Line guy, it's part of like his trifecta of like really cool movies he made. He made this one, and then he'd go on to make a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 for New Line, and he would make The Hidden. All 3 of these are very, very popular cult movies. This one has a great interview with Jack Shoulder. Has his thoughts on a lot of different things, and it carries over some from a previous special release, which I think might have been Anchor Bay. Don't put me on that. But this is a pickup and should leave fans happy. Us thirsty ones who've been wanting this on Blu-ray for a long time. Alone in the Dark. That's my number 6. That's where we're at. And now we're into the top 5 here. And comes from my first Criterion title on the list. It's Albert Brooks' Defending Your Life. Holy shit, this movie's great. And we got a great release with good conversations with Albert Brooks on here with a new 4K restoration. It's just, it looks great. There's archival stuff on here that works great, but this film is fantastic, and I really think people should check it out. I'd love if Criterion got their hand on Modern Romance. Really like that one from him too, but this is a great afterlife fantasy kind of movie. It's really fun. It's got some great witty humor. It's got an endearing love story on here, and just fantastic to think about. This movie will stick with you for like ever, I guess. You'll be thinking about it for the week after you watch it. You'll talk about it. People have seen it, and it's just phenomenal. So high recommend, definitely Defending Your Life. This came out back in February, I think. I picked it up right away. Hadn't seen it in a long time and just hit the spot right there. And I think as you get older, this movie probably will mean a lot more too. But definitely Defending Your Life. Check it out. The next one comes from Paramount, from their Presents label. And by far my favorite, I love the Paramount Presents line, but this one is the mother lode of all. It's The Breakdown. Kurt Russell movie. Justin Beam did the bonus features for this, and if you go back to my Sorcerer episode of the show, we talked about this release quite a bit before getting into that. He had a lot of fun making it. Got a fun story about Kurt Russell coming in to record the commentary. It's got a interview with the now late Martha De Laurentiis on here. It's got an alternate opening that wasn't used for the film. Jonathan Mostow comes here to talk, like Kathleen Quinlan. And the movie looks and sounds great. Like, this is a cool thriller. It was a hit movie. It like came out #1 for the weekend and stuff, but kind of just, there used to be a article series. I forget what website ran it, but it was like the forgotten #1s, or like the movies that hit big at the box office for a bit, or #1 at the box office and we don't talk about anymore, or like might have been forgotten, and Breakdown probably fits that. And it's finally out here, and this is a top-notch Kurt Russell, top-notch movie. It's a mystery thriller. J.T. Walsh is great in it. You should really check it out. But Breakdown, this is my number 4 title for 2021 on standard Blu-ray. Now to number 3, we're going back to Criterion, and it is a very underappreciated thriller, political thriller from the 70s. It's The Parallax View. Starring Warren Beatty. It's an Alan J. Pakula film. He's more known he's more known for Clute and All the President's Men, and this is part of his political thriller trilogy that he did through those. And this is probably a forgotten one, but it's pretty iconic, and you'll see stuff in here like, oh, that's where that stuff comes from. But it's terrific. Warren Beatty is like a man uncovering some stuff, going on the run, this big plot that he gets involved. It's really cool, and there's a lot of, it's got a 4K transfer. They've got introduction from Alex Cox, who tends to appear on bonus features for things a lot. But there's a lot of stuff. Gordon Willis shot this thing. There's so many features, and of course their booklets that come with it are great. But Parallax View, and I think it's still good today. It is a hot movie. 70s Warren Beatty, can't beat it. Parallax View, check it out. All right, we're down to number 2. There can be only 2 left here, and it's another Criterion. These people put out quality releases. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The penis is back in the movie, folks. That was a big deal when it came out, but this looks and sounds marvelous. It's just a great movie. It's got multiple cuts of the movie on here. Bonus features old and new combined here, but the one I like the most is there's Olivia Wilde has a chat with Cameron Crowe and Amy Heckerling about the movie, and it is adorable. It's great, and not only is it fun to hear them talk, it's great to see the mind of Olivia Wilde, a current an up-and-coming filmmaker, seeing her, like how she envisions things and what she sees and takes and how she plays around as a creator, and that's really neat. And to see her talking to people that made a movie that is very important to her, very great. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, like this is definitely an upgrade for those of you who had it before, and hopefully, I think it is coming to 4K next year, so the image quality is going to, they do the right thing to basically, because that one came out on a Criterion and then a 4K later on. So number 2, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And last, and taking the number 1 spot again, it's been here before, not always, but it's been here before, and there's no surprise to any of you. It is this year's releases from BBC of Doctor Who, The Collection. You can insert season 17, which is on its way to me from the UK currently. I don't have it yet. It's released this year. I'll go out on a limb and say, normally it's always stuff I own already and have checked out, but I'm pretty sure it would make this list. We had season 8, season 24, and season 17, which would be the second season for John Pertwee, the first season for Sylvester McCoy, and the 6th season for my favorite, Tom Baker. These releases, while having the worst video quality of any of them on my list, because they were shot on video, but they have done marvelous things to these. This one in particular has a lot of CSO shots, which is like computer replacement backgrounds and stuff that look shoddy, but they have fixed them on here and they look amazing, and they add CG effects to them. But this isn't like Star Trek where it's like, oh, that ship doesn't look like it fits. They make the CG in a way that looks aesthetically pleasing with the original footage here that they're in. This one contains so many versions of like episodes and stuff. They got Sacha Dhawan to sit down on this behind the sofa segment where people past and present from the show watch it and talk about it while they're watching it. I'll tell you this is how great these sets are. Sylvester McCoy's first season of any Doctor Who of all time is probably my least favorite season. And I say least favorite. I can still enjoy it, but the way they do these sets, it makes me appreciate them so much more. So much love goes. There's no bias in these. Like, they treat every season like it was the best season that ever happened to Doctor Who. And this one had so much like raw studio footage on it. It's crazy. Like, you just watch them in action, see how it's made. It's basically, they do these for all of them that they can, but it's like watching Get Back, the Beatles one, watching them make that album. You get to watch them make Doctor Who for hours and hours. I can't remember. There's an ungodly amount of hours on here. But the fun in which they come up with these featurettes to not just be talking heads making of, to celebrate these, it's just amazing. And then the release is like a chronicle of that year in Doctor Who. Like, no question, it's an archive. Like, it's an archive piece. Like, you will have no questions or want anything else after watching this. You learned it all. And they have like everything from commercials to trails and continuity to everything they've done with these, and it fits the year. It's great. So they're always up for winning my year. And I can't lie, these are the thing I get most excited about, 4K or Blu-ray, that come out through the year. They do 3 a year, and I cannot wait to crack into these and just lose myself in these Doctor Who releases. Everything goes to the side, podcast, show-wise, till, while I'm in the midst of one of these, and I love them. I think they're doing great work, and we are 10 sets down, I believe now, 16 to go. Can't wait to see what's next. I'm really excited because it looks like Colin Baker's first season that I did here on Old Space Show is going to be next year. And that's a really underappreciated season. I can't wait to see what they did for that. But yeah, my number 1, BBC Doctor Who, The Collection. I appreciate you watching the video. I appreciate you reading my articles or watching my 4K Blu-ray segment throughout the year. It's great. I love covering these. I love talking about home video, Blu-ray. It's great. If this is the first video you watch, go over and check out my top 4Ks of 2021. You've got more to see. This is the Blu-ray one, so if you watch both of them, thank you, awesome. What were your favorites? What were some? I've got 10. I didn't mention all of them. There's some I would love to mention, but I'll let you do that below. And maybe there's one I haven't checked out yet that I might want to, and I thank you for the recommendation. If anything, yeah, keep watching. Thank you, and stay film positive.